It's Katrina with K14's Cash Coaching. I help people get on a budget, pay off debt, and build their credit scores up. So as I'm waiting for people to roll in, I will let you know. I also have a website, k14cashcoaching.com, where I have my blog and I post my videos and things like that. So you can go ahead and share this page with your friends so I can get more likes. You know how that goes. Today I'll be covering more insurance tips. So the whole month of August was about insurance, whether it be car, house, life insurance, medical insurance, health insurance, everything I could think of. And this is not my jam. This is not my go-to, favorite thing to talk about. So it was very difficult to come up with something. So I'm like Googling and I put my spin on what I find and things like that. But the cool thing is at the end of the year, I will be launching an online course, and I am entitling it Money Boss Academy because that is my slogan. And all of my students will be getting a chance to win a Kindle Fire. So also my birthday is next month. So we will be doing some giveaways and things like that to celebrate. But I will also be going over certain couponing things, how I get all of the gifts for my nieces and nephews for super cheap, and where I go to find these deals and things like that. But to celebrate, my husband got me new pops, Mr. Dwight Schrute and Mr. Michael Scott. So they will be joining us today on our live for insurance. Now with insurance, I know it's a poopy thing because we have to pay for it, but it just transfers the risk for you from coming out of your bank account to pay for these things or coming from the insurance company. So thank goodness that they exist and they are an option. But here we go. And I appreciate everybody's referrals and recent clients. I've gotten very busy the last couple months since I launched all of my programs for budget building, debt payoff plans, and credit score building. And you guys have definitely been keeping me busy, and the income has definitely helped expand my business and be able to reach more people. So I appreciate that. Now, in being transparent, raw, and all that, I would like to say that I have an email list. A lot of people are not on the email list. So this week for the giveaway, I will be giving away in my weekly emails, I'll be giving away, oh, Jason, you're making me go red on camera. It is an inventory of your possessions. So one of my insurance tips are, if you own a house, you should have everything inventoried. Now, let's be real and raw. I'm not done with that. But I did find a super easy to use, awesome resource that I will be emailing out to all of my email lists. I'm at like 130 people now, but obviously the thousands will help. So let's keep I'm going to keep going with that. I can have up to, I think, 5,000, and then I have to start paying. So we're going to, if you ain't listening to them, you're not checking the email, you're going to get cut from the list when I get up into the 5,000. But I will be emailing that out this week to where it literally says TVs, and you can list, 65-inch Samsung in the living room. Don't worry about what I got in my house, but yes, I will be listing those things, and I'll be sending that out this week, so that way you guys can get on top of your stuff also at your own house. Because God forbid your house burns down, a big tree falls on it, I don't know, the saguaros, and you did not catalog your items. There's no way to prove that you had them unless you legit have like pictures of your house. You took a picture of the couch and you took a picture of the TV and things like that. So you need to have that stuff cataloged with, the value and things. So that way the insurance isn't like, oh, she's making up stuff. Because let me tell you, I got $10,000 cash or something. People will say that they have in their house and try to get that covered. And if you don't have like picture proof that it exists, then you don't. So, okay, one of the insurance tips I had was underinsuring your house. Whoops. I did that because I've gone over this before, but for people who are new to me, my house went up in value like 90 grand. So in the last 2 years. So that's great for me. Jessica, you saying, do you have to have a receipt too? A receipt for what? Can you elaborate, please? So make sure your home is covered on the value of what it is now plus replacement. So replacement cost could be like 20% on top of what your value is. So like ours is 343,000. I'm covered for over 380. And my house hopefully won't go up before next, well, hopefully it will go up next year, but hopefully it won't go up too crazy that if something bad were to happen, I wouldn't be covered. For the inventory of your stuff, you do not have to have the receipts, but obviously those would be helpful. But where are you going to keep the receipt? In the house that will burn down. Knock on wood. So yeah, I mean, I guess you can. Obviously, we buy things online, so we have our email receipts and things. But obviously, the more data, the more proof you have of these things, the less they're going to have to research and make sure you're not doing fraudulent things and stuff like that. So make sure you're not under insuring your house. I legit looked at my paperwork because it re-ups every June. That's when we bought our house, June 7th. And I went, so wait. Let me look at these numbers. So if my house burned down, it would only be covered for how much? No, boo-boo. So we had to add that on top. And it went up a little bit. I think it went up like $80 for the year. But that $80 sure did buy me $100K. So definitely worth it. Another thing that I'm guilty of, which obviously some of these tips are for me too, not fully understanding my coverage. So I am not, the insurance guru, obviously. That's where Kathy is. So if you check my old videos, you can connect to her. She is in the West Valley in Phoenix, for those of you who are local. And even if you're not, she'd probably still answer your questions. She could probably still give you a policy. I'm not sure if she's covered under different states, probably not, but she could still answer some questions. So not fully understanding your coverage. Obviously, there's lots of words and technical things that they're going to jibber jabber and random, say, this is for this. And what does that mean? So just understanding, if you don't understand, then reach out to your agent and ask the questions. Be the bugaboo. Be the one that's like, oh God, she's calling again. Yes. What does this deductible cover? Like, is it a percentage? Is it I pay the deductible and you guys cover 100% after? Like, what are we working with here type deal, So definitely understand your coverage and your policy. Another thing that happened to my grandma is she had plumbing issues, which caused like backup, like her plumbing backed up. And in turn, they had to break up her concrete, her flooring, everything. So obviously that's an expensive, it was probably like $14,000 or something. That's an expensive claim. So when she filed for that claim, they upped her insurance, which obviously affects someone with a fixed income who is in their almost 60s. She's 70. How old is she? She's going to be 70 this year. So that was an unknown thing for her, which I learned through her that nope, you have to now she's hers went up a good percentage, but they can raise you your first claim. They can raise you at 9%. And if you do 2 claims within the first year or within a year, they can raise your rates 20% or more. 25,000 is how much her damage was to her flooring and her plumbing and all that. So yeah, a lot more than 14, but I just remember 14,000 somewhere. Another thing to be aware of and really understand are the deductibles. Yes, if you have a higher deductible, then that means you're going to have a lower monthly payment. But if you don't have money in savings to cover said deductible and your house, whatever, or your car, same thing, you can't cover it, you can't fix your car, you can't get to work, you can't pay your bills, it's a whole spiral of, bad stuff that could occur. So that's just, now my deductible is $5,000. Oh, wow. Yep, that's definitely a savings issue because a lot of people don't have $5,000 in the bank. Oh, it's asking me to end. Okay, sorry, the computer's acting crazy. Okay, so deductibles. Okay, another thing to double check is if your policy covers and takes care of mold situations and sewage backup, because a lot of policies are just very basic, you know, fires covered for an accident type deal and things like that. So just look into your specific coverage and policy to make sure that you're covered if you have an older home, especially on that sewage thing, because we all know the 1980s and below and older, they got some issues coming up because they're pushing 50-year-old houses. So 300,000 for liability. So most policies have 100K for liability, and just to cover yourself, you want to have 300K just in case. Like you think some people are your friends, but let their child break their arm or something, and all of a sudden they're trying to get money out of you, and there goes your friendship because they're trying to sue you and things like that. So if someone's at your house, I mean, obviously they charge extra if you have a trampoline for a reason, or if you have a very violent dog like a Rottweiler, Pit Bull, you know, German Shepherd, those kind of dogs, they ask you those questions for a reason, because the dogs are known to bite kids or whatever occurs, accidents happen. So inventory of possessions, I already went over that. Half of the people do not have that. So let's go off of that. It's really bright. There we go. Half of the people do not have an inventory of their possessions. 40% of people do not have that in their homes. Two of the resources I found that you can do besides the free resource I'm giving if you join my email list right there. I'm also on Pinterest, YouTube, and Instagram, K14 Cash. You can do Allstate's Digital Locker is one, and American Families, theirs is called Dream Vault. So that's more of an app you can do to track what you have in your house, make sure everything's accounted for in case of an event, like I said, that total loss of your home. So I will be emailing everybody out. Another thing with insurance, my last tip. Excuse me. She's saying, I know we know each other through insurance, Jessica, and I have learned so much more since then. I wish I knew then what I know now. So many exclusions and policies no one's aware of. Like you mentioned, mold and flood. Yes. Speaking of flood, I didn't write this in my notes, but it was originally in my notes. Listen, Arizona, Phoenix, we are in a drought always. Like for 33 years since I was born, they always said, turn off the water, we're in a drought, things like that. So we didn't think we would need that, but some people really did have issues a few years ago when our entire city rained for like 2 days straight, but a lot. And like you remember, it was in the national news, it was on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, everybody covered it, because our entire freeway was, you know, there was floating cars, and people were like, I could probably make it. No, you cannot make it in that, you know, 10 feet of water when your car's only like 5 feet tall or 6 feet. So yes, flood insurance, yes, you're right. I think the new houses have a chance of quicker issues because they make so quick and cheaper than older houses. Used to be copper, now it's like plastic. I agree with that. They do throw these houses up super quick, but luckily you have warranties and things like that you can get now to add on for the older homes to cover yourself. So my last tip for insurance is bundle. I don't, because I have Geico for my car, and we have Pulte, who is the builder for the home. But if you can, bundle, because I remember when I had my life insurance, car insurance, and I believe my homeowner's insurance through Farmers, we did get a big discount, but I don't anymore. I don't know what to tell you. My husband has Progressive for his truck, and he has, I believe, State Farm for the car. So if you can bundle, do it. It would be worth it just to check, but my computer froze, so I didn't know if I went. Things as more buildings cause Earth to shift, causing unforeseen issues. So anyways, go ahead and share the video if you want. Please share my page so people can like it. And I will see you guys next week when I go over couponing and gifts and things like that for September. Thanks.